I'm going to begin, Doug, just by asking, I mean, this is an incredible story. You must have been quite shocked that this hasn't been told before in Hollywood, because I kept watching it and I couldn't believe every kind of twist and turn that this Barry Seal character went on.
Yeah, but sometimes, time has to go by to tell these stories, like especially to tell them the way we tell it with American Made, where we're giving it some humor, or a lot of humor. Like, it kind of needs to, once the 80s are comfortably far enough away that we can sort of look at it and laugh at ourselves.
And I mean, because obviously, and I mean, it's kind of a subplot in some regards, but we're looking again into the kind of Pablo Escobar sort of story. I mean, we can't seem to escape Pablo Escobar at the moment on small screen, on the silver screen. What do you think it is about that particular world that just fascinates us as audience members?
I think we just can't believe that these people got away with what they got away with. It's. I mean, that's the thing about the 80s. It's why Tom Cruise and I were so attracted to bringing this pilot to the screen, was that because Tom and I are both pilots, we're like, wow, the kind of flying that Barry Seal was doing in the 80s, you just can't do today. It's kind of like a Western. It's instead of horses, they're airplanes, and instead of it dying out in, the 19th century, it ended in the 1980s. Because today with technology, people could not get away with what Barry Seal got away with. Pablo Escobar couldn't get away with what he got away with. It's just, those days are over. That's the Wild West is finally done. I
mean, the film, because I love the kind of how creative the film is. I mean, the kind of animated interludes and the kind of the narration and the fact you use a lot of handheld camera. It's a film that really takes risks. But I mean, we spoke recently for The Ward, and you were saying that obviously you started off as swingers, and you've always maintained those kind of indie sensibilities. Have you ever had to kind of have you ever felt that you've had to really kind of push away kind of studio pressure to make the movie you always want to make? Because it always seems like you take a lot of risks where in other blockbusters some filmmakers don't.
I do take a lot of risks. I mean, I think I'm attracted specifically to risk. I mean, it's, if it seems, whether it's physical risk or, story risk. I mean, even, Born Identity, I wanted to, take a risk and do an ending that was contrary to how action films were ended at the time, and the studio was dead set against it, and everybody said I'm crazy, and they didn't think the film would ever work, and it was, so I've always sort of been drawn to, if somebody says it can't work or can't happen, that gets my juices really flowing, and American Made provided, a ton of those opportunities. I mean, first of all, Barry Seal, the character Tom Cruise is portraying, was constantly sort of facing challenges that seemed impossible with, and getting in and out of these outrageous airstrips, and running away from the DEA, and doing these chase sequences with airplanes. But even just the act of making the film, and Tom and I saying, like, when we told the producers we wanted to go to this remote airstrip that was 3 hours from the closest road to shoot some of the flying, and we'd have to live there in tents. I actually, sometimes I'm amazed I get away with it. I can't believe that they actually let Tom and I go do that.
Because obviously you're working with him again on Live, Die, Repeat and Repeat.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it about this story you just couldn't turn down? Because I mean, you were saying before that this was not this was quite a difficult, sort of challenging experience for yourself and for the actors to do this. So I guess you really would have needed some convincing to go and make a sequel.
We came up with a story that I love, and it's sort of irrelevant now that it's a sequel. In fact, the part I love that it's a sequel is that it's going to surprise people. I love having people having expectations and then surprising them. It's why, I think part of the fun of Edge of Tomorrow is you have an expectation of who Tom Cruise is going to be, and then we just surprise you, and it's not at all the film you thought you were going to see, because you sort of expect a certain film with Tom Cruise. And same thing with American Made. You sort of have expectations. Tom Cruise in airplanes, you comes with baggage. You're thinking of Top Gun and thinking of, Mission Impossible. And it's like, American Made's a very different movie. He plays a very different character. So I actually love having people coming in with expectations and then flipping them.
If there's any film that you wish you could have directed, or a story that you wish you could have been behind, which would it be?
A film I wish I could have directed?
Yeah.
Any film with Katharine Hepburn.
I would like to have seen that as well. Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey You Guys!